Hello, we are Team 8, and this is our proposal on how to market Reese's Peanut Butter Cups in the country of Peru. Let's start off by talking about the other countries that were assigned to our group and why we didn't pick them to market our product. Germany seemed like one of the attractive options for our group due to their great economy and high GDP, but the country is considered an aging population. Aging societies are considered to be not as open-minded when it comes to new products. Also, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, while being considered high quality in America, might not be perceived the same way in a country like Germany that has an extensive local chocolate industry, placing an emphasis on products that are much more luxurious than ours. The second option was Malaysia, which we highly considered. Malaysia has a large population of approximately 32 million people, which is almost equal to that of Peru's. Malaysia also proved to be a desirable country due to its high GDP and its large number of ports strategically placed within trade routes. But although Malaysia is open to trade, one of the country's strongest values is preserving its nation's cultural presence and traditions, and they are known for being against adopting foreign values, which could be detrimental to a product like ours. Ireland was not an ideal market in comparison to Peru due to the fact that their population is only an eighth of the size of Peru's, and their median age is 37 years, which makes it an aging society. Also, due to the fact that their replacement rate is so low, there isn't as many children to market towards in this society. Lastly, Poland was not the best market to sell our product. The average age is approximately 39 years old, which makes it another aging society. Older populations tend to rely on brand loyalty, which will make it difficult for this product to efficiently sell in the market, especially if they are not already familiar with the brand. As an aging market, Poland faces the same threats as Germany and Ireland. Now let's talk more about Peru's economic and political features. Peru's total GDP is 211.3 billion US dollars, with an annual growth rate of 2.5%, which ranks its economy as the 47th largest in the world. The GDP per capita is 6,172, which means that Peru can be classified as a newly industrialized country or a country that is in maturity. Countries that find themselves at this stage are very attractive countries for multinationals to move into due to their growing middle class, which is an ideal market for a product like chocolate. Due to the fact that people within these countries find themselves able to increasingly purchase consumer goods, the market for a low-cost product like chocolate is huge. While an economy like Peru's is not yet as strong as a developed country, it is going to be growing rapidly, which means a huge portion of the population can now afford to spend their extra income on something like chocolate. The little luxuries effect may also play a role on why a product like Reese's would be successful in a country like Peru. The little luxuries effect occurs in economies that aren't very strong. This phenomenon causes people to spend some of their income on things that are affordable and will make them feel good in situations where they may not have the type of disposable income to spend money on a true luxury that is out of their budget. Peru's economic freedom score is a 68.7, which places Peru in the moderately free range and is very near transitioning into the mostly free range. This score places it alongside other countries like Mexico, Panama, Costa Rica, France, Poland, and Jamaica, just to name a few, and makes it the 43rd freest economy in the index. Peru remains on the top 10 list within the Americas, which sets it apart as a strong commercial contender within the region. Peru's Gini coefficient is also 45.3, while Scandinavian countries that represent high degree of equality might have scores of 25, countries such as Haiti have scores around 60. So Peru's score is almost the same exact score as that of the United States, which can give you a good idea of the income distribution within the country. While there are inequalities, they might not be as drastic as that of other countries. Peru's total size is around 1.2 million square kilometers, which makes it nearly double the size of Texas. It consists of deserts, Andes Mountains, the Amazon rainforest, and a dry coastal region, which all combined result in great diversity. Currently, Peru's national highway system is 7,000 kilometers long and another 3,000 kilometers are currently being built. Peru also has 1,000 bridges that have been built to facilitate transportation across its rugged and diverse terrain. Peru has at least 12 key airports around the country, which facilitates fast and efficient transportation and also has good ports that can be used for maritime trading. It is worth mentioning Peru's membership within a variety of different international trade organizations. To start off, Peru is a member of the World Trade Organization since 1995. It has also established the Andean Community, which is a customs union with its close neighbors, which are Ecuador, Colombia, and Bolivia. It is also a participant within Mercosur, which has at least 12 countries either fully involved or associated with the organization within South America. And last but not least, it was one of the founding members of the Pacific Alliance in 2011 alongside countries like Mexico, Colombia, and Chile, which are notably some of the stronger economies in Latin America. Being that Peru is very active within trade organizations of the region, it is a great option for multinational corporations looking to move into the continent as a whole. Doing business in Peru opens the door to doing business within the larger region of South America, which as a whole is a market with an approximated GDP of $3.9 trillion and is full of potential. Peru has also transitioned from being an agricultural-based society into now being mostly service-based, which is a key feature of economies with growing middle classes. Regarding Hofstede's cultural dimensions, Peru scores high on power distance, which can be attributed to their history as part of the highly structured Inca Empire and their colonial past, as well as authoritarian governments in past years. As with most of Latin America, Peru scored as a highly collectivist culture, which reflects the importance of family in this culture. Collectivist cultures also usually prefer larger companies over individual initiatives. Peru is not an extremely feminine as a culture, but is surprisingly much more feminine than most other countries in Latin America, which means this culture emphasizes family values and personal relationships, as well as more nurturing and caring and cooperative values. Peru scored very high on uncertainty avoidance, which is very common with countries that have a colonial past, where they were subjected to a lot of rules and structures. These countries like facts, truth, and predictability, and these are features that a well-established brand such as Reese's can feed off of. This country scored low on long-term orientation, very close to that of the United States. They are much more normative in their thinking and do not care to save for the future and prefer instant gratification. And instant gratification is a feature that a product like chocolate can feed off of. Lastly, Peru's score on indulgence is reflected by the rest of their scores in Hofstede's dimensions. Because they are high on power distance, it brings no surprise that they are not an indulgent culture, but also, because they are not high on long-term orientation, they are not a restraining culture either. Peru is more of an intermediate of the two. A SWOT analysis of Reese's brand highlights some obvious strengths, such as their leadership in the confectionery market and their well-established production and distribution abilities. A weakness that Reese's might have is that they lack global exposure compared to that they have in the US, and in some cultures, America might carry a negative connotation, and the products could face the threat of carrying this negative image. At the same time, Reese's is presented with a huge opportunity by expanding further into the global market and expanding their global brand recognition. This is a great opportunity to incorporate new campaign ads and possibly expand the product lines. Lastly, threats that Reese's may face is going up against major competitors such as Nestle. Food laws and regulations specific to the importing country could also be a threat, as well as the economic and political stability or instability of the importing country. Our distribution plan consists of using Hershey's production facilities in Mexico and transporting via waterways to Peru. By having access to Mexico's Pacific coast, we will ship the product from Manzanillo Port in Mexico's Pacific coast to Port Callao on Peru's Pacific coast. This port is Peru's main maritime cargo port and has easy access to the capital city of Lima. Once the product is in Lima, we will use the city as our main distribution point in the country and further transport product through the rest of the country by using trucks and their widely developed system of highways that interconnects the whole country and all major cities. Being that Reese's products are very popular among children and younger populations, we are expecting many of our average consumers to be part of that demographic. Yet, since in the US, Reese's is also very popular with older age groups, we are including them in our target market in Peru as well. Our broad age range for our target consumer will allow us to become a household product that everyone in the Peruvian family can enjoy. In Peru, we're specifically targeting its middle class, as they are the largest segment of the Peruvian society and represent a huge market. Middle-class customers also have the flexibility in their disposable income to spend on small treats such as chocolate. We're predicting that a lot of our consumers' incomes will fall between the range of 4,100 Peruvian sols and 3,600 Peruvian sols, since this is the income range for skilled workers in Peru. Our initial target market will also focus on Peru's major cities due to the fact that Peru's 10 largest cities represents a third of the country's population. Focusing on major cities will not only lower our transportation and distribution costs, but it will also give us brand exposure and direct access to the middle class demographic, which we are trying to market towards. Once the product has penetrated the middle class and is well established in larger cities, it will be easier to move the product towards other demographic groups in more remote parts of the country. To find our competitors in this market, we decided to look at products that would be similar to our peanut butter cups. We made sure these products were our direct competition by making sure they were similar in price range, sold in the same places we plan to sell Reese's, and targeted towards the same demographic. Reese's should be seen as a product that is not too pricey, so it's accessible to the middle class, and should not be too cheap so that Reese's can sustain positive profit margins. In Peru, it's interesting that our domestic competitors are technically our foreign competitors as well. As you see, there are two main multinational companies that are very well known in the United States and now in Peru as well, Kraft and Nestle. Nestle and Kraft have moved into Peru and have bought out many of the local chocolate and candy producers and now carry the brands as their own. The Sublime chocolate product, which contains pieces of peanuts in the inside, is owned by Nestle. Dona Peppa and Kua Kua is owned by Kraft. Dona Peppa is a chocolate-covered cookie with sprinkles, and Kua Kua is a wafer cookie layered with chocolate cream and covered in chocolate. All these candies are very popular in Peru, but by introducing Reese's, it is a different product with a new spin on an ingredient that Peruvians already love, peanuts. What is good to note is that there are American brands already introduced in the candy markets in Peru, such as Kisses and Kit Kats. So because of American brands being already established, introducing Reese's would not be completely unfamiliar territory for Peruvians.
Now we will describe the product, place, price, and promotion we will use for our peanut butter cups. For our product packaging, we decided that we are going to use the classic packaging in order to create a uniform brand identity and establish our product characteristics in the Peruvian consumer's mind. By keeping the traditional packaging that is already well known in America, we can appeal to Peru's positive perception of American products and their perception of American products as being of a high quality. We notice that keeping the original packaging is common practice amongst other American chocolate brands selling their products in Peru, such as M&M's, Kit Kat, and Hershey's. The only changes we would make to our product packaging would be adapting it to any necessary labeling regulations, including using the nutritional panel layout that is mandated by Peruvian law and translating required information such as ingredient lists and allergens. As mentioned previously, we've decided to focus on distributing our product in Peru's largest cities to start off. Within those main cities, we're going to place our product in supermarkets, discount stores, and convenience stores, with supermarkets being our most important segment out of the three. We'll focus on major supermarket chains that are well established, such as Wong, Plaza Vea, Metro, and Vivanda. These stores profit off of Peru's growing middle class and growing access to credit within Peru. Convenience stores and discount stores will be the second most important segment, as they are projected to grow by 492% by 2022. The major players in the Peruvian convenience store market are also going to be Tambo, Moss, followed by Listo, and Rep Shop, that both have about half of the numbers of stores as Tambo. We will also be targeting the huge Mexican convenience store chain, OXXO, that has recently moved to Peru and is expected to open 500 stores by 2021. While discount stores are an emerging market in Peru, we will be focusing on this segment, at least since not all discount stores carry leading market brands such as ours and only carry lesser known brands. For this segment, we will be focusing on chain stores such as Moss, which is a market leader, and Vegas stores. After conducting market research regarding our competitors' pricing for their own products, we've established pricing for our three products. Our single peanut butter cups will be sold at the standard price of 1 Peruvian sol with 80 cents. Our double peanut butter cup will be priced at 3 Peruvian sols and 30 cents, which is an incentive as the customer will receive double the product but not at double the price. Finally, we've decided to also sell a larger party bag bundle that can be used for holidays, parties, or simply just for sharing, which is great for a collectivist culture such as Peru's. This party bag will be priced at 11 Peruvian sols and 90 cents. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups can be promoted in Peru through the usage of commercial advertisements. We have established an advertising message which helps promote the Peruvian people to be able to enjoy themselves even more with family and friends. The message will travel through a variety of media platforms, such as the radio, commercial ads, social media, buses, trains, and billboards. We plan on executing this plan by contacting media outlets and advertising agencies in Peru in order to promote the product with a goal to gain exposure, attention, and a course of action. Ideas for advertising commercials consist of a Peruvian family spending time with each other in Machu Picchu. Then a young child gets hungry, pulls out a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup package, and him and his little sister both eat it together. We will also use celebrity endorsements, as this is a society with a high power distance, and this marketing technique tends to be effective in these types of societies. To appeal to men and male figures in families, we will use someone like Paulo Guerrero, a world-class soccer player from Peru. Internet advertising can involve online ads which promote Peruvians to eat the American way. Peruvians tend to think highly of American products, and this can be a great stance in order to sell the product. The most important part of the online advertising will be to keep it to the short and memorable. For example, short videos that connect to Peruvian lifestyle while associating to Reese's Peanut Butter Cup products. In order to further entice our Peruvian customers, we will run a series of 2-for-1 sales, as well as a sale pricing during holidays. Our product will also be available at discounted prices at discount store chains as mentioned previously. For our budget plan, we estimated to spend $1 million on production, $250,000 on transportation, and $5 million on advertising, totaling a $6.25 million project.